No incidents were reported during the delivery of Mukhtar Ablyazov's new portion of incriminating documents to the offices of the ruling party Nur Otan.
Activists of the unregistered party Alga faced such reaction for the first time. All previous attempts to deliver the mail ended up with fights and arrests. Not this time. In addition to visiting the ruling party Nur Otan, Alga activists met with representatives of the Communist People's Party, which calls itself moderate opposition. Documents were accepted there without incidents as well, but also didn't raise too much interest. Our next step is to give these appeals to all public associations, all parties, and primarily to the ruling party Nur Otan. I think that this neglect cannot go on forever, and it should be followed with some reaction.
Apparently, it is far more complicated to deliver correspondence to the isolation ward of the National Security Committee. Mukhtar Jakishev's wife revealed that her husband is not receiving newspapers she is sending him. The next report has more.
Fruits, homemade cakes and fresh newspapers. These are the items in the parcels brought by the wives of the former head of Kazatomprom, Mukhtar Jakishev, and his bodyguard Talgat Kystaubayev, who are still detained in the isolation ward. The women cannot see their husbands due to a court order, but hope that at least their parcels will be delivered intact. Nevertheless, Jamila Jakisheva claims that her husband does not receive everything. I know that not all newspapers are being brought to him. When I asked my husband through his lawyer whether he got the newspapers, he said no. Instead of Family's Choice of Megapolis, Kursiv and Svoboda Slova, Mukhtar Jakishev gets Kazakhstanskaya Pravda, likely from the archives of the National Security Committee. Attorney Besikev says that the leadership of the committee's isolation ward is ignoring the court order.
I request to issue a written decision granting them access to all the court's printed publications.
The National Security Committee is surprised by the statement of Jakishev's family and lawyer. The press service claims that the court order is strictly followed while all the parcels are delivered intact.
Everything is being delivered indeed, and no one goes through their stuff. It is simply not true. I personally talked about it with the head of the isolation ward.
Meanwhile, the wives of the defendants have not met their spouses since the beginning of the year. According to the law, however, inmates have a right for 2-3-hour visits every month. Women have written dozens of appeals to the court requesting meeting with their spouses, but they remain unanswered.
Meanwhile, the lawyer hired by the family of Jakishev's bodyguard Talgat Kystaubayev was granted the right to access secret materials of the case. This right, however, doesn't grant Hamida Aytkalieva the access to the courtroom.
Hamida Aytkalieva tried to obtain the access since the November of the last year. Apparently, the permission was issued yesterday by the Astana Justice Department. However, the court continues to prevent her from defending the accused as well as appearing in the courtroom. Mukhtar Jakishev's attorney Nurlan Bisikev attempted to stand up for his colleague, to which the judge responded with a threat of administrative fine and imprisonment for up to 3 days.
The court issued instruction not to let me in because I have no right to access state secrets. I received it yesterday, but I have no right to present it to the bailiffs, as the Department of Justice ordered me to return the documents after the hearing.
Some positive news at the end of the bulletin. Kazakh Olympic team has won its first silver in Vancouver after Yelena Hrustaleva came second in the biathlon 15-kilometer individual race.
The Ministry of Tourism and Sports have even called a press conference for the occasion. Sports officials openly expressed their joy for the victory, as this was the first medal won during Winter Olympics in the last 12 years. In 1998, Kazakh athletes won 2 bronze medals in Japan. This time they won silver. Kazakh team shows some good results in the current games, which doesn't really surprise the ministry officials. This is not a miracle, but rather a natural result. This was achieved through collective work, as we have 2 5th places in addition to the second. Our athletes are among the top 10 athletes in the world. Most importantly, our athletes are young, which speaks volumes about the future success.
These were the latest updates from Kazakhstan. Thank you for being with us and goodbye.